What's up, y'all? This is Evan from DMV Sports Zone giving you another update on all things DMV sports. Yeah, this is the time of year where updates start to get short, but we're going to start with hockey and the Washington Capitals. So the Caps are starting to string losses together at the absolute worst time. A 5-3 loss in Minnesota on Sunday is what happened last time they took the ice. The loss drops the Caps to 33, 31, and 7, 73 points, 6th in the Metropolitan Division. They've lost 2 in a row, and if the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs. Here's the week ahead for Washington. For the Capitals, the week begins on Tuesday when they return home to host the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets come in at 21, 41, and 7, 49 points, last in the Metropolitan Division. They have already been eliminated from playoff contention. Columbus is coming off a 7-2 loss in Vegas on Sunday, and they've lost 3 in a row. This is the last of 4 between the Caps and the Jackets. Washington leads the season series 3-0. They beat Columbus 6-2 in Columbus on January 5th, 1-0 in DC on January 8th, and 4-3 in overtime in Columbus on January 31st. On Thursday, the Capitals welcome in the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are currently 24, 39, and 6, 54 points, last in the Central, and they too have been eliminated from playoff contention. Chicago is coming off a 4-2 loss in Arizona on Saturday, in which the Coyotes outscored them 4-1 in the final 2 periods after the Hawks led 1-0 after the first. This is the last of 2 between the Caps and the Hawks. Washington leads the season series 1-0 after beating Chicago 7-3 in Chicago on December 13th. And for the Capitals, the week concludes on Saturday when they head to Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. The Penguins are currently 34, 25, and 10, 78 points, 5th in the Metropolitan Division. If the season ended today, they would play Boston in the first round. Pittsburgh is coming off a 6-0 loss in New York on Saturday. They've lost 3 in a row, 2 of which have been to the Rangers. This is the last of 3 between the Caps and the Pens, and the rubber game in this series. As the season series is tied 1-1 apiece, Pittsburgh took the first meeting 4-1 in D.C. on November 9th. Washington took the last meeting 3-2 in a shootout in D.C. on January 26th. And now we wrap up with basketball and the Washington Wizards. Yeah, I told you these get short this time of year. The Wizards are also stringing losses together at a pretty bad time. A 132-118 loss to the Kings on Saturday is how their last game played out. The loss drops the Wiz to 32-39. They've lost 2 in a row and sit in 12th place in the Eastern Conference. So if the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs. Here's the week ahead for Washington. For the Wizards, the week begins on Tuesday when they head to Orlando to take on the Magic. The Magic come in at 29-43, 13th in the East. If the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs. Orlando's coming off a 111-105 loss in LA on Saturday, thanks to 35 points by Austin Reeves. This is the third of 4 between the Wiz and the Magic. Washington leads the season series 2-0 after beating Orlando 119-100 in Orlando on December 30th and 138-118 in DC on January 21st. After this, quick turnaround for the Wizards, as on Wednesday they return home to host the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are currently 48-24, the 1 seed in the West. They've already clinched a playoff spot. If the season ended today, they would play the second winner of the play-in tournament. Denver's coming off a 108-102 win in Brooklyn on Sunday, thanks to 28 points by Michael Porter. This is the last of 2 between the Wiz and the Nuggets. Denver leads the season series 1-0 after beating Washington 141-128 in Denver on December 14th. On Friday, the Wizards welcome in the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are currently 19-52, 14th in the West, ahead of only Houston. They've already been eliminated from playoff contention. San Antonio is coming off a 126-118 loss to the Hawks on Sunday, a 126-118 win over the Hawks on Sunday, thanks to 29 points by Keldon Johnson. This is the last of 2 between the Wiz and the Spurs. Washington leads the season series 1-0 after beating San Antonio 127-106 in San Antonio on January 30th. And for the Wizards, the week concludes on Sunday when they head to Toronto to take on the Raptors. The Raptors are currently 35-37, the 9 seed in the East. If the season ended today, they would play Chicago in the play-in tournament. Toronto's coming off a 118-111 loss in Milwaukee on Sunday, thanks to 26 points by Brook Lopez. This is the last of 3 and the rubber game between the Wiz and the Raps. The series is tied 1 game apiece. Washington took the first meeting 119-108 in D.C. on March 2nd. Toronto took the last meeting 116-109 in overtime in D.C. on March 4th. And that'll do it for this update. But before we go, a quick couple shout outs to Christopher Newport University, the Division III national champions for men's basketball, and the DC Defenders, who picked up another win over the St. Louis Battlehawks, this time in St. Louis. to remain undefeated, the only remaining undefeated team in the XFL. Until next time, I'm Evan from DMV Sports Zone signing off.